Now they'll get to bat for the rest of the day, looking to wrap this up. They'll probably be thinking an outright win is definitely on the cards, as we'll see the players walking off. What a fabulous bowling performance they've put up here. Wickets all round. Some much needed overs for Bentley, and Charles Morris very appropriately, very appropriately clapping his teammates off the ground. Now there'll be the short innings break before we'll get to see Panton's reply for the day's play. Here they come, Heath George and Jackson Bellingham, the Panton Hill openers. They've got a fine record together. They run good between wickets. They can play their shots. They can be defensive if they have to. So, the opening bowler practicing his run-up, Jackson Bellingham taking straight. Let's have a look at his stats. 31 runs this season, an average of 15.5, which is very good for an opening batsman. Scored 30 last match, so he's in form.
The South Morang boys will be thinking that they'll like to pick him up with an LB shout early on. He's been known to try and whip the ball away off the line of the stumps.
No fielding mid-wicket. You just have to beat that short mid-wicket and you'll get runs on the leg side.
That could be part of the elaborate plot to encourage Jackson to play that shot we were just talking about. I wonder if that will unfold.
2 slips, a gully, the rest are in the covers, and a deep fine leg.
Here comes the ball. Flies off the edge and pushing forward with hard hands. Didn't get to the, well, he went past the vertical. Play what resulted in a rather nervous opening.
Got some good pace, this bowler.
Yes, I would have thought he was in the same class as some other great bowlers at school or otherwise. That one a little fuller and Jackson was able to pick that one up. Yes, I think you would put this bowler in the same class as a Smith or a Jones, say. Perhaps more particularly a Smith. In comes for the preferred delivery and allowed to pass harmlessly by, a little shorter.
Not sure about how many overs are left in today's play, but there's not enough to really look on the offensive for the Panton Hills.
Wide ball, he's tried to put a lot into that, get some response out of this trap, but succeeded only in spraying it outside.
Interesting, Mark, at the start of the season, that burnt patch on the pitch was causing some problems with it getting some high bounce and low bounce, but we haven't seen this in the matches. We've seen it in training.
No, it does seem to have settled down a little bit. Then comes the bowler, charges in. And we'll just check on that bowler's name. Oops, he's slipped.
Bellingham's off the mark, a very bad misfield by point fielder. And you don't let Bellingham get off the mark with that easy.
He could go on for 2, 3 or more runs now. Well, you really wouldn't want to let any batsman get off the mark.
Well, you know that Bellingham gets a bit frustrated when he doesn't get off the mark, but if he just gets going, he can be more patient, and it's harder to get him out once he gets off the mark. George, not so, because he'll wait all day if he has to.
Now the bowler wanted like to adjust the line it short again, and George flips it off the hip. Did he get a bit of bat on that?
Certainly did. End of the over, it's none for 2. So, someone is bowling from the pavilion end to George. 2 slips a gully.
Oh, and a bad ball.
That was an awful ball to start. And with no one on the leg side really, a 6 free field, no one saving a single on the leg side. That was doomed.
Certainly a bit of a Pollock look-alike there. Two sandy-coloured haired opening bowlers. He runs in again. Slinging action and
Another ball way down leg.
called wide again.
I don't like the look of this guy's action. It's very slingy, and he doesn't have the strength to bowl sling, so it's just a waste of time, waste of everyone's time. Those couple of balls were just terrible.
One more wide and I predict around the wicket. To the left-hander especially. In he comes again. Bowls. A better ball this time, turned nicely off the pads.
That was a good shot by George. Didn't hit it too hard, just flicked it for a single and brings Bellingham onto strike.
You may enjoy bowling to the right-hander a little better. Ball won't be slung down the leg side so much. No chalk out there for the batsman, I noticed. Here comes the bowler. And gently played back. Bowls. Quite an aggressive field for this early stage. They need to take wickets.
And a nice little cut shot from Bellingham.
Ball running out towards the third man boundary.
And they scamper through for a couple.
Is that no ball for that?
That was the bowler. Yes, the technical staff just adjusting their equipment there as the bowler comes in, bowls wide and cool. Bowls. And we've had a couple of no balls and a couple of wides, 3 wides. It's going to be a long over. Comes in, bowls, full toss. Oops, hit into the covers, but a misfield there. Suits the ball. I'm feeling so I'd give up a 2. There really shouldn't have been any there.
So more misfields brings Jackson to 3.
Here comes the ball, right on over the wicket. Slings another one down, and Jackson resisted temptation to whip that one away. Just drops the bat on.
End of the over. George to strike. Revolt to bowl. To bowl.
To bowl.
To bowl.
Comes in, bowls. George vops the bat.
Yeah. There's no point of joking around when George is batting. His scores this season have been 29 and 37 not out, which means he averages 66 for the season, Marq Bellingham.
My goodness, that's amongst the very, very best. Here comes Rigo. Whoops, and got a little bit of kick there. Was that off that patch? Some of you may be about to rewind and just see if that one caught the edge of the green there. Perhaps it did. And surprise, George, a little bit of extra bounce.
Fortunately, you don't have the pen from Channel 9.
Those of you could be zooming in now. Here it comes, Riol again. I think he's headed for that patch. I think it's starting to focus South Morang's attention in the belief that they might be able to get the ball to do something unexpected.
Well, they've got not much else. Panton didn't get any wickets with that patch, and they bowled South Morang out for 80. And now South Morang looking for some sort of hope that they can do something with this match. As another misfield brings about another run, George goes on to another run.
Revolve again. Bowled. Oh, and short of the patch that time. We can see that Bellingham was tempted to flail away at that one, but just resisted. Revolve again. Bowls. That's a better ball. Better line, better leg. And gain some respect from Panton opening batsman.
George to face.
Opens the face of the bat there too and runs it through the cordon. Comfortable single. And he comes again. Bowls. And could be caught short there, but no.
Quick single there.
Maybe thrown to the wrong end, I suspect.
The thing about them is that they love to run singles, these two, and they're very quick between wickets. And they know they've opened before, so they quickly ran through that single with ease.
There was some hesitation that gave the fielding side a glimmer of hope, but just for a moment. So he's getting a nice little curve now. That's starting to happen for the bowler. The outswing to the right-hander or in-swing to the left-hander could cause some trouble. His action suggests that he might have an off-cutter up his sleeve too. We'll see. Comes in again. There was the straight one. Was that the attempted off-cutter? It was loose, unfortunately.
Now, South Marine needs to stop giving away these singles. They're just letting the batsmen easily get their eye in, and it's wasting the new ball, and it's just hurting them badly. With a low total on the board.
Involved. Full toss this time. Finds the outside edge. So run away, but I think
Hit it through.
think about the second, but it was never really on.
No. Hit it nicely through backward point. It was George. It's left-hand, right-hand combination getting a bit frustrating for the South Marines. And Bellingham pushing at it.
And it's just reaching that one a little bit.
End of the over.
Ooh,
Nice ball.
Forced to clamp down on that one.
Seems to move just a tinsy bit in, got the inside edge onto the pads of George. But the ball.
From the distance comes in revolts. Well, another little thunderbolt down at George, but he rises to the occasion. Detects that revolt doing not a bad job here. Bowls and stretching for that ball, searching for the outside edge, but there's no luck going for South Morang at this stage. A couple of false shots, but all 10 still intact.
Yes, and it doesn't look good for South Morang considering the batting lineup that they've got. On paper, it looks incredible. Nice shot there from George.
Looked away off the pad. They'll get a comfortable two.
When you've got Bellingham and George, two contrasting batsmen at the crease, it's bad enough. But then you've got the superstar wicketkeeper batsman Captain Mitchell coming in at 3, followed by Gilmore, and then Al Bentley. What a batting order you've got.
Oh, and opening the face and running the ball down the third man was George there.
Played that
Come back
well.
for 2. They had to avoid a mid-wicket collision there, but still had plenty of time to complete that second run. Oh, and
They'll get a third.
a third with some pretty ordinary cricket from Morang.
And that's end of the over, and people will be glad that over's over. And a change of the bowling. Looks to be left arm spinner or left arm medium pacer, one of the two. The keeper's up to the stumps. George is on strike.
And Panton Hill no wicket for 21. So strongly placed, with made good inroads into that South Morang tally with no wickets down.
A lot of runs on the leg side, only 2 people saving a single, and then 2 men on the fence.
No fine leg, so he won't want to drift wide of the pad.
You expect him to be Chinaman?
No, I don't.
No? Then why is there such a gap at the
If he
on the
was
leg
Chinaman, surely that backward square leg would be mid-wicket.
Alright, let's see. Couldn't really tell what that was.
Arm ball.
Kind of a mush.
Yes, it was the straight one, we can confirm that.
Couldn't tell if he was
Front of the hand.
went through the fingers or over the wrist. Couldn't tell.
I don't think there was much wrist there.
There wasn't much to it.
No.
Just
Push the ball up the other end. Could have been loosening the shoulders. Here we go again. No, that's front of the hand.
and the square leg comes into play. What will Bellingham make of this?
We'll be looking for another ball like that last one, I suspect. Nice soft full toss to push away for a comfortable one or two.
Yeah, the same field is set for both George and Bellingham, so it doesn't look like as much contrast with the batting handed. But will Bellingham play across the line to hit onto the leg side for the seam? Easy
Checking
runs.
his guard here, probably because he's forced back into the crease by the keeper being up at the stumps. Still got the 4, is it? 4 on the leg?
4 on the leg. Everyone's saving a single in the covers.
Trying to nurdle that one around the corner.
Yes, a bit more of a flick of the wrist could have gotten that for a couple.
But
down
I think he's a bit wary of that mode of dismissal. Although surely the ball would have been pitching outside leg coming from the...
No one at fine leg. And in the field.
Applying a bit more pressure there to the silly point coming in. And once again the bowler comes in. Just pushes that one across. No, I don't think there's any real attempt to spin the ball.
2 minutes away from the scheduled end of play. It can still go another 15 minutes to 12 o'clock if required.
Yeah, it would be. And I think this will be the penultimate over. Or perhaps ultimate. If this ball takes too long, in he comes again. So just front of the hand there. Looking to tempt the batsman.
Doesn't look like much of a bowler, this guy.
Although he has been taught.
Yes. In his over and the final over of the match of the day. Bellingham holding up play again as more aggression being put towards him.
I think the fielding side think this is the last over. I think that's what that's all about.
But there's still another minute to go.
That's by our clock, but the umpire may be using the clock on the grandstand, which
Says that it's 1:45.
full toss, no. Bellingham declining to use the feet.
And
Checking the watches there. Umpire Mitchell jogging through, umpire blue shirt, the umpires meet. And they said, that's time, gentlemen.
And that is the end of the day's play with Bellingham and George undefeated, the opening batsman having Panton Hill dismiss South Morang for 80, any for Marq Bellingham.
Oh yes, a lot of things come to mind, and mostly it's about South Morang's inability to rise to the occasion. They really needed to be at their best to challenge Panton Hill today. That hasn't happened, and Panton Hill will make will have a very comfortable week ahead of them, knowing that they're in a strong position.
Yeah, Luke, you did so well the first time.
There's the South Morang side, a very sorry looking side, bowled out for 80 and unable to take any wickets with the new ball. It looks all darkness for them as the coach starts to abuse them for their awful, awful performance. Well, we're an hour and 15 minutes away from the Money Shield game. Channel 8 will be broadcasting it with Channel 8 2, so change from Channel 8 1 to Channel 8 2 if you want to watch that game. Panton Hill versus Eltham College. But as far as cricket on to the Channel 8 24-hour sport channel is concerned, it's goodbye from the Cracknell Reserve Oval. We'll catch you next week. I'm Chukka Wilson. Come on in. Edge through the gully region. 4 runs. Now, I know skipper Mitchell won't like this.
Keep around there, Ty. Keep around there.
Hannon after a few worries of not taking early wickets, suddenly you've got 2 of them in 2 balls. And what a shot there. Bowled it full but down leg, and with Ty's pace, batsman just sent it on its way for 4. Good shot there. What pressure for team hat-trick. Bad ball from George. That's what they don't want. Charge down the wicket. Trying to flick the ball down to fine leg, almost being bowled round his legs. We know a lot about that sort of dismissal, don't we? Barfield to continue from the Roger end. And quick single. And that is out. Batsman ran out from the other end. A crazy single being taken. Got it all on film. We have to say. Out. Batsman ran out from the other end. A crazy single being taken. Got it all on film. Even though he was running out the other end, he has to face the pace and bounce of Ty. Ah, no, it's got to be out, and that is out. What a brilliant ball from Ty. It looked to be going down leg, then it's in swung. Oh, it swung away from the right-hander, hit him on the full, on the ankle, straight in front of the leg stump. That was out. And that is out. What a brilliant ball from Ty. And that's the end of that. Ryan McDougall picks up his 10th wicket for the season. The batsman, the number 4 batsman, bowled by McDougall. And the batsman has to come out to face the end of the session. And that's the end of that. Ryan McDougall picks up his 10th wicket for the season. The batsman, the number 4 batsman.
but still keeping it tight. Gives this one a lot more air. And there it is.
And that's the end. The fourth wicket has fallen. Bellingham with the breakthrough. A full toss down the leg side. Gets the wicket caught behind. And the fourth wicket has fallen. Bellingham with the breakthrough. A full toss down the leg side.
That was a pretty ordinary delivery and a pretty ordinary shot.
And it really puts the cat amongst the pigeons.
There goes a pigeon. Oh no, it's the next batsman coming in. Oh, and a bit of a round of applause for young whippersnapper. He's seen off some pace, but the sucker ball got him.
Batted for about 2 hours, so that's a 5 average.
Yes, and he will be, won't be telling that one to the boys down the pub. Comes in again. Oh,
And,
now that's a hat-trick on.
well, what a poor shot. What a poor ball. A full toss. Or the batsman tried to play it as a full toss. And whether the ball, he missed the ball or the ball dipped a bit, either way, he's out bowled leg stump.
My recommendation is don't replay that one at home. Just think it was a great ball and beat an exciting young batsman. It's not what happened at all, but just think that. In fact, it was a pigeon. I think we were right the first time.
So,
That's a hat-trick on.
well, what a poor shot. What a poor ball. A full end of the over. And the wicket has fallen. Heath George has picked up the wicket. Caught behind. And the wicket has fallen. Heath George has picked up the wicket. George in. And that's out. Caught Gilmore, bowled George. The ball was down leg. And for George, that ball would have gone further down leg. The batsman prodded at it, got some extra kick, got the glove, out, caught Gilmore. Last ball of the over. And that's out.
I can pause while George comes in again. And he's been caught by Bentley at fine leg. Attempting delivery, down leg side. Fine leg. Attempting delivery, down leg. Oh dear. Tried to repeat the dose.
And this South Morang catastrophe continues.
Back to Barfield. Tried to repeat the dose.
And this South Morang catastrophe continues.
And what will the bowler come up with? No, he's interrupted in his run-up, unfortunately. And we'll have to retrace his movements. In he comes with bowls. It's on the stumps. Oh, and it is on the stumps. And it is on the stumps. And that wraps up the innings here. I'll throw you back to Justin first on commentary.